Hey guys, welcome back to yet another video here on RevAtlas. I'm Sandeep, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at how you can do interesting things with your time in quarantine. So basically we're going to be looking at macro photography today and how you can make use of your smartphone's macro camera or even the regular camera to take cool macro photography, and let's see what we can come up with. I'm just going with the flow and hopefully we can get some interesting results with this. I'll show you how to capture the photo, how to edit it, and how to get an overall good looking image that you would otherwise expect only from your smartphone itself. Camera itself. Now, before we get started, please do make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for more videos like this. Now, let's begin. So here I have the prop that we're going to be using for today's video. It's basically a Lamborghini Aventador, and this is my son's card. It's a metal card. You can make use of any object that you have, slightly bigger. This is about half the size of most smartphones these days, and we're going to be taking a look at the macro camera on the Redmi Note 9. Here's a Note 9 for size comparison, so you know how big the car is. For example, we'll be making use of the macro camera on the Note 9 to capture photos in this particular video, and let's see what kind of results we get. So I'll first show you the sort of setup that I'm using. It's very makeshift. I just came up with it on the fly, and rather than trying to make the stuff around me look good, I'm just trying to make what we are gonna take look good. So this is being lit up by two lights. First, here is a light. This is the Godox SL60W. So this is the primary light that I use to light myself up in videos, and the next light is what you can see there. So this is actually being lit up by a Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, and you can see a reflection there as well. So Note 9 Pro Max, I've actually just kept it on another phone box, balanced it out to make sure that it doesn't tip over. So this is going to be like the background light of sorts, and I've already taken a shot prior to this, but probably not in the same sort of style. So this will be adding some more elements to the mix, which actually would look cooler, I think, at the end result. I'm keeping this on a shoebox. So this is basically a shoebox that I had lying around, and something that I wanted to look like tarmac itself, like the car was on an actual road. And I also have this, which is basically an empty glass cleaning bottle. So I filled it up with regular water, and we're going to use this to kind of get the spray effect to mimic rain in this particular scenario. And this light here, this background lighting, is what is going to make the rain stand out or make it look like actual rain, while this light here, the Godox, is actually going to light up the car itself. So of course, if you don't have a light such as the Godox, what you can make use of is another smartphone light as a key light, or you can also make use of torches or basically any light source that you have, which is stronger than the other source of light that you have in the background itself. Now let us do some shots. I'll kind of show you the before and after on screen, after doing some editing as well. And before we head over to the editing screen, I'll show you what I got right out of the camera itself, so you can understand what you should be expecting as well. So this is what it looks like. I am currently recording directly from the Redmi Note 9 Pro rather than shooting on the Pixel and giving you guys a look at what it looks like, but this is how the viewfinder is currently. So this is the regular camera. You can see once you focus, the background kind of gets blurred and the light works well here. So what we are trying to get out of this is basically an effect where the car is driving through rain. So we want to kind of have some motion in this. We want to have some rain effect in this. We want to kind of make it look like it's an actual car and not just a toy or some sort of miniature car that you have lying around at home. So the key to doing macro photography or close-up photography is to make sure that you are at the closest distance in terms of focusing to the object as possible. So for example, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to so in this case, what we're going to do is basically manually focus. So you can find out what is the closest focusing distance. Of course, you can also make use of the macro camera, but I'm kind of trying to get the best quality possible. The earlier sample that we shot was with the macro camera, but in this case let's try doing it with the regular camera itself. So it's about there, that is focused. Now I'm trying to frame it in such a way where it looks like there is continuous road. That seems about right. And I'm shooting this in RAW as well. Now you don't necessarily need to shoot it in RAW, you can shoot in JPEG as well if that's all you have, but if you do shoot in RAW you'll get a bit more room to play with, which actually makes sense. Yeah, so that's the shot we got. I'm gonna try and capture the same thing with the macro camera as well. Now here obviously it's able to focus much closer, so we'll have to yeah, we can make use of this, I guess. So let's go ahead and import this into the PC and then see what we can do from there. So now that the wheel is selected, what I need to do is go ahead and apply a radial blur to it. So it seems about right. Yes, so I want to get the impression that it's actually moving. So now that's achieved. The back wheel we are not actually going to play around with, the reason being that it already is blurred, is out of focus, and we're actually going to apply a motion blur here to show that it's actually in motion and there's some speed that's actually happening here. So we can select the rest of the car towards the back, select all this including the rear wheel if you want, or you can leave out the rear wheel more or less towards the A pillar. And once that is done, you can head over to motion blur here, and let's increase the motion blur to kind of understand which angle we need to be looking at. And yeah, that seems about right, but let's reduce the intensity to around 25. Should work. So now it shows that there's some speed here. I see there's some portion here that's kind of visible, so I want to fix that by using the spot healing brush. So I'm actually using Photoshop right now, but you can make use of any photo editing tools that you want, and these are of course more advanced sort of tools. You don't necessarily need to do this when you're doing macro photography. You can just skip some of the steps which you deem unnecessary, and in case you want to give it more thought or more sort of attention to detail, you can do that as well. I'm just trying to rush through this so that the video is not too long, and I know it's already long, but I don't want to miss out some of the essentials as well. So I kind of want to hide this here, so it's sort of a reflection of the Note 9 Pro Max itself, but I kind of want to hide it, so I'm trying to use a spot healing brush to kind of make it look less obvious there. And what we can also do is play around with the camera raw filter here, by actually adjusting the color, because for some reason I think it's probably because the light from the background, the color is not what it actually was. It's kind of different from what it was. So there's some purple that's been added which I want to remove, and I can also remove it here by defringing it. There's some reddish color which I want to add. It's a bit more orangish rather than reddish. I also want to remove the magenta from this and the purple, and I can add a bit of clarity into the mix as well. Play a bit with the highlights, not too much. I still want that sort of an effect. Bring down the blacks as well and increase the shadows just a bit, and that's about it. Now we need to export the same thing and get working on the headlights of this to make it look like as if the car was running and the headlights were also turned on. Now, since that is something that I can do in Photoshop, but many of you might not be doing in Photoshop, I'll kind of show you a quick and easy way that you can do it across iOS devices or even Android devices. So I'll open up my Android smartphone right now and show you how it can be done. So I've actually imported the photo here, downloaded it, and I'm going to use lens distortions. This is an app that's available both on iOS as well as Android, and I'm gonna make use of these classic light hits to sort of mimic the effect that you would get from a headlight. Now this is for the left headlamp, and you can see a slight preview of the right headlamp as well. So I'm going to add the same thing, but what I'm also going to do is I'm going to play around with the opacity a bit to make it seem like it's less visible because it's on the other side and it's not entirely captured here. So I'm going to make it a bit smaller, and I'm going to play around with the opacity as well, reduce it. Yeah, and even this, reduce the opacity just a bit, and that's about it. Now save. So now I'll bring up on screen the effect that you get by just capturing the car, without any of the rain effects and stuff. Then after the rain effect is there with the reflection, then after enabling the tire spin and also adding the headlights, how it drastically changes your image. So if you liked it, please do hit the subscribe button, and also let us know what sort of tutorials like in the future as well. I know that this is a makeshift idea, not everyone would like this, and it doesn't seem professional enough, but at the end of the day, this is something that you can use to kill your time and produce decent looking images, at least. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.